Guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. So it's always easier making videos like this when your team wins 58-0, the way Texas destroyed Rice this past Saturday, than the week prior when we got smacked in the mouth against Arkansas. So it was a great bounce back game, perfect opponent to match up against, to just get right, get stats, evaluate the new starting quarterback, and a lot going on. So I want to break down everything, get into my picture analysis, takeaways we can get away from this Rice game. But first, want to give a shout out to our sponsor, BUSR, the official sponsor, the official sportsbook, the official betting partner of Fanatic Perspective. I'm so thrilled to be partnered up with BUSR. Hit up busr.com/fanatic so you guys can sign up and take advantage of this promo code NFL100FP. Only 10 days left to take advantage of the free play promotion, 100% free play, matching all deposits. So sign up now. We're going to have some really, really cool stuff. We're just getting started with BUSR. And like I said, couldn't be more thrilled. So stay tuned. Some contests, all sorts of stuff coming. Advice on some bets and whatnot. So we're excited to be partnered up with these guys. Now, in regards to the game and what we can take away from here, I'll say this. There's not much you can learn, but there's things you need to see. And I think everything that I personally needed to see in terms of getting the explosive plays from the run game and getting the run stuff going, because that was something I needed to see to start the season based upon how we ended last season. So I got that. Bijan Robinson had a hell of a day, right? Only had 13 carries too. So I said, hey, can we get explosive plays? Can we get him over 100 yards? Can we get him a couple touchdowns and still leave here relatively unscathed? That mission was accomplished. We get Roschon Johnson getting explosive, Keelan Robinson getting explosive. Between Keelan Robinson, Roschon Johnson, Bijan Robinson, they accounted for the first 37 points, pretty much, if you include the blocked punt before Casey. No, not the first 37 points. The first 30 points, I would say, because Casey Thompson had the last two touchdowns to Jarrett Wiley and Xavier Worthy. But in terms of just point is getting the party started, Stan Drayton's running back room did the damn thing. No doubt about it. Well, look at Roschon Johnson, the package they have. This is now a few different games now. They've shown us this package with Roschon taking direct snap. And we've had direct snap packages, most notably the 18-wheeler that we've been excited about and that we've utilized and had success with. This one's a little bit different, though, because Roschon Johnson, not just being a former quarterback, we've seen that with Tyrone Swoops as well, but the explosiveness that he has. He's RB2, and he's more of a RB1B at times, and he's back there with our all-time runner in Bijan. It's very difficult to defend. It almost gives you like a Pat White, Steve Slayton. For those of you who grew up with those brothers, it gives you that kind of look, and you saw that in this Rice game. Now, yeah, measuring up the personnel, Steve, they ran all over and gashed up a team that's not very good. You're absolutely correct. Still needed to see it executed. I've seen us play teams like Rice before and win 38-24, and we leave more frustrated than when we came into the game with, right? So to see them 58-0, 44-0 at halftime, the first start of Casey Thompson's career at Texas. Obviously, he's been a lot of the storylines have focused around his battle with Hudson Card. Now he's getting his opportunity, and honestly, truth-serum game for Card in the offense was Arkansas. The next one for the offense at least won't be until TCU. Not overlooking Texas Tech or anything like that. Texas Tech is a truth-serum game for the defense coming up September 25th. That's the game where I'm looking at PK and his Big 12 debut, where I'm like, okay, can we stop air raid type teams? Can we stop teams that are going to be vertical in their passing game? Receivers like a Izukama, who's going to be an NFL player, those type of guys, right? No disrespect to Arkansas and Rice and Louisiana, but those aren't the type of teams that can throw the football away Oklahoma will throw it, the way Texas Tech will throw it, the way Brock Purdy will challenge us, and others. So that's what I'm starting to look for in terms of, okay, defensively, how do we start to match up here? Because Rice really tells me nothing. If you're getting a shutout against any opponent, I'll take that. That's a great takeaway for PK's group, bouncing back from a rough second half that they had in Fayetteville. We'll take all those things. We love to see guys like Byron Murphy, Ogofu, DJ Harris, Baron Sorrell, all these different people, Ben Davis, getting involved in the party, getting rotated in there, and getting their feet wet. That's how we discovered a Joseph Osai a few years ago when we started giving some other young guys opportunities. I think Prince Dorber even got some time. So all these young guys getting in there to, because at this point, PK being asked before, what do you see from your pass rushing front? When you're not blitzing and things of that sort. He doesn't know yet. He's still looking for those guys. So these younger guys getting this opportunity to get in there and not just get their feet wet, but get real numbers. Barron almost recovered a fumble. Well, he did, but it didn't count. Harris getting a sack, Ogofu getting a sack, Byron Murphy getting a sack. These are real things, regardless of the opponent. I will say this from a big picture perspective, a couple things, because there's before I get to the big picture, the other takeaway is Casey Thompson looked comfortable. He looked like QB1. The team obviously responds to him. He obviously has juice. We got to see how teams counter what he does and doesn't do, right? So that's kind of the next test. But Sark is able to have him look good and not show a whole lot. Now, Hudson Card looked great against Louisiana without having to show a whole lot. And when the test came, that truth serum game came, we fell apart. So hopefully Casey Thompson, utilizing his poise and his experience within the program, his experience within college football, we'll see how that turns out. I think I underestimated that personally before. The other thing, Xavier Worthy, underestimated his ability to be, when I say impact, like day one impact because of his size. He's been fantastic, and I love the way he was targeted. Did he have the most monstrous game? 7 catches for 88 yards and a touch. It's a really, really good game, but it's more of how he's being featured, what they're doing to showcase him. Clearly, the staff loves what he gives, and he's being productive with his opportunities. And let that be a note to the other guys in the receiver room, Andre Coleman's group. This is a meritocracy here. So Xavier Worthy cashing in on his early opportunities. I will say the only concern I really had come out of this game is offensive line. And from a pass pro standpoint, the one interception we threw, we're talking is off of one of our shot plays where we do the pulling guard thing again, and we're trying to locate people coming upfield. Rice sends an extra man because they do hybrid looks. They send an extra defender. We don't block it up well. Quarterback gets hit on the throw, and we throw a pick, right? So those type of things continue to be a problem. They were a problem against Louisiana when Hudson Card didn't have a clean pocket. They were a problem against Arkansas when both Hudson Card and Casey Thompson didn't have a clean pocket. And today when we're trying to go, or not today, Saturday, when we're trying to do shot plays. So that, whatever that, and I'm sorry, the second half, when I'm seeing Carrick and Hayden Connor and these guys moving downfield, it makes you wonder when they'll get their opportunity to run with the ones. I understand Kyle Flood's thing about size, but at this point, I want to see Carrick in there as one of my 5. He's too nasty to leave somebody like that on the bench, and as well as what he still gives me in the run games, and mauler. So we'll see if that's an adjustment that they make down the road come Big 12 play, but hopefully don't wait too long to make said adjustment that we are already all calling for even before going into Rice. But I want to get in the big picture. That's the only thing I think got exposed. Oklahoma struggled to beat Nebraska. Now this is 2 games Oklahoma struggled. They struggled with Nebraska. They struggled with Tulane. Tech, TCU, Iowa State, they got their ass whooped by Iowa. Iowa's a good team. My point is, expectations now that we're going into Big 12 conference play, Texas has an opportunity to make noise if they want to. They have an opportunity. Oklahoma is not the team that I had in my top three coming into the season. They're just not. They're not. They're they'll get, I expect Lincoln Riley's group because they looked bad at the beginning of last year and they figured it out along the way, and I expect them to get better. And I expect that ramp to begin with us when we play each other in Dallas on the 9th. But as of right now, there's nothing you're seeing from OU to where you're like, oh, we're going in there to play 2019 LSU, where it's just an absolute juggernaut. Or all these teams that have flaws, that have more experience than we do, more returning experience coming into the season than Texas does. I think this is a time where Steve Sarkisian and his staff, yes, you're developing guys. Yes, you're still learning about your group. We made a quarterback change last week. But opportunity is starting to knock here. Oklahoma fans are starting to get concerned with the product that they're seeing. Yeah, they're still winning. And yeah, we know we're going to get up for each other when we come to Dallas. But all I'm saying is I don't see any juggernauts in this conference to where I feel fearful of Texas' ability to win the game. That's what we've got to figure out, because the recruiting aspects, I see a lot of conversations happening about recruiting. Are we showcasing enough? Is the product good enough to get in front of recruits? Well, you know what? The way this conference shapes up, if you win enough games, trust me, the recruiting will fall into place, especially if y'all end up in Arlington. I'm not going to give them, a shortcut and say, oh, we only should win 7 or 8 games. I can't do that with the way this conference looks. If you're watching everybody play in football right now, there's no juggernauts in here. Yeah, if they were already in the SEC, I'd feel differently. But with what Texas's schedule is, in my opinion, they should not lose another game at DKR the rest of the season. They should dominate the toughest opponent they probably have in DKR, in my opinion, is probably Oklahoma State. It's not even me trying to sound arrogant. It's just what I've seen from all these teams that we've played so far. We will get into our Texas Tech prep. And Texas Tech, like I said, is a big test for Pete Kwiatkowski and this defense to show that they can stop Big 12 offenses, especially vertically. I'm putting that out there. But in regards to the big picture of how we look in this conference, when we were projected to be third, I'm not seeing why we can't go and beat some of these teams, is what I'm saying. A lot of these teams. So keep that in mind as we're all evaluating where our teams are heading into Big 12 conference play. Guys, head over to busr.com/fanatic. Take advantage of that promo code. Got some Heisman odds up there, updated on there. Matt Corral, now the leader. Spencer Rattler, I think, is still like plus 300. So it's a lot to take advantage of. Bijan Robinson, plus 3,000. Just saying, take advantage. And a lot more to come in terms of giveaways and whatnot. I appreciate everybody. Let me know your thoughts on the Rice game below. If there's anything else that you feel like you learned, anything else, any other takeaways that you want highlighted. I appreciate you guys. Horns always up.